A lethal shadow stalks the water. One sound means the difference between life and death. The crocodile, absolute ruler of the swamp, waits relentlessly for the perfect strike. This is not just survival, it is a journey into the wild's hidden power. The warthog roams the savanna, finding safety only in deep burrows. But thirst drives them to the river, where the Nile crocodile waits in silent ambush beneath the mud. They drink in panic, sensing the lethal trap. When the monster lunges, tusks become weapons in a desperate zigzag sprint for dry ground. The weak, however, are dragged without mercy into the abyss. On land, the warthog is a warrior, but in the water, the crocodile reigns supreme. The riverbank calm is shattered. The water explodes, jaws clamping shut on a victim. A scream pierces the air, scattering the herd in terror. The unlucky soul is dragged into the darkness, a final sacrifice to the river monster. The crocodile lunges with brutal force, but instinct saves the prey. With lightning speed, the warthog cheats death and scrambles to safety just in time. Trapped between a pack of wild dogs and the water, the warthog faces a nightmare scenario. Panic blinds it, searching for a way out that does not exist. Suddenly, the surface erupts. The hunt ends in a brutal, watery grave. The baboon troop moves like an army, but the river is a deadly battlefield. Sentinels scan the murky depths, knowing the Nile crocodile waits like a silent executioner. One wrong step, and the water explodes. Chaos reigns as the beast strikes the weak. Alpha males bare their fangs in a primal display of rage, but it is futile. On land they rule, but in the abyss, the crocodile is the absolute king. The silence of the lake is a deadly lie. As the monkey drinks, the water erupts in violence. A scream of agony tears through the air. The beast clamps onto an arm, dragging its victim toward the darkness. But courage overrides panic. Brave companions rush into the jaws of danger, engaging in a tug-of-war with death itself. Against all odds, they rip their kin from the abyss. Caught in a vice-like grip, the monkey faces certain death. It fights with desperate fury while the troop watches in terror. Suddenly, the jaws falter. Seizing the split second, the victim tears itself free, cheating the reaper and scrambling to safety. A miraculous escape from the jaws of hell. A flash of violence shatters the riverbank. The crocodile strikes with lightning speed, jaws locking instantly on the doomed baboon. There is no escape from this razor-sharp prison. In mere seconds, the struggle is extinguished, and the predator drags its victim into the void. The swamp conceals a cold-blooded killer. Beneath the mud, The crocodile marks its victims. Suddenly, violence erupts. Jaws clamp shut, shattering the peace. But the true tragedy unfolds in the chaos. A defenseless infant is snatched into the depths. The mother screams, charging in a desperate bid for rescue. But fate is cruel. She arrives seconds too late. The Great Migration faces its deadliest barrier, the river. Thousands gather on the banks, paralyzed by instinct and fear. Beneath the treacherous calm, the Nile crocodile waits in silent ambush. When the herd plunges in, the water boils with chaos. Hooves strike against scales in a desperate defense, but the predator unleashes its ultimate weapon, the death roll. It twists the life out of its victim, dragging it into the abyss. Speed rules the land, but in these waters, the crocodile is the absolute executioner. The mud acts like a trap, holding the zebra fast. But a lethal shadow slides closer. Adrenaline explodes. The zebra tears itself free from the mire just as the predator strikes. The jaws snap shut on empty air. Death misses by mere inches. Breathless but alive, the survivor walks away from the edge of doom. The river hides a lethal secret. Disguised as cold stones, the monsters wait. The herd plunges in, blind to the doom beneath. Suddenly, a titan bursts from the depths. Chaos erupts. The water boils with panic as the herd scatters. The unlucky victim fights for air, but the predator's grip is absolute. There is no escape from the razor-sharp jaws of death. The scorching journey ends at the river, a deadly reward. The water explodes, and the predator's jaws lock onto the tail with brutal force. Chaos reigns as the zebra fights a losing battle, twisting and kicking with desperate fury. But the will to survive is absolute. In a final powerful surge, the victim tears free. Bloody and exhausted, the survivor escapes the clutches of the merciless current, a stark testament to the will to live. The herd braves the lethal current. A young zebra is seized, pinned against the rocks, thrashing violently. In the heart of the whirlpool, doom strikes. Its cry for help is swallowed by the river's relentless roar. But the scent of blood is a chilling signal. More silent shadows arrive, jaws wide open. The feeding frenzy is brutal and swift. Soon, the river returns to its serene, cold silence, a terrifying reminder of nature's indifference. The river turns into a slaughterhouse. The crocodile locks onto the zebra's throat, crushing the windpipe with brutal force. The victim thrashes in pure agony, fighting a war it cannot win. But the wounds are catastrophic. Strength fades, and the violent current claims the lifeless body. A life or death choice. The mother and her foal step into the current, knowing the abyss awaits. The predators surge forward, turning the crossing into a frantic escape. The mother fights like a fierce warrior, kicking and struggling to rip her young from the clutches of death. Against the merciless current, they fight with absolute resolve. Finally, exhausted but unbroken, they reach the blessed safety of the shore. This brutal encounter is only a brief pause. Profound mysteries still await our exploration. from the impenetrable forest shadows to the boundless ocean. Join the expedition. Join the hit like. Share this revelation. And subscribe now to continue uncovering the majesty of our planet's greatest creatures.